Letting go is the best-selling essence of these 7, and I think there's 2 reasons for that. One is because, letting go. We all just want to, let go of stuff. It's what we're all working towards, and letting go is also a really great essence for letting go. It's a really good surrender essence for letting go of the small self and handing our life over to the divine. And notice it's got seal and jellyfish in here, which we discussed this morning as these surrender essences, and also dove for peace at the quiet center of our own heart. So, we've had the courage to go in, courage to connect with these old feelings that really don't feel good and let them out, the anger, the sadness, the grief, and we've gone through this, and now we get to the place where we just feel this sense of we're able now to let it go. It's actually moving to the past. Instead of having taken over our life, it's now receding, and we're able to step in to this new life. And we feel that newness. We feel a sense of, this is a different place than I've ever been before. And one of the natural feelings that arises then is a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude that we made it through that horrible time, both when it originally occurred and making it through this difficult work of embracing these feelings and expressing them and letting them out. And gratitude that we're now able to experience a new life, a way that is much more free of the suffering that we experienced in the past. And the new life continues to unfold. Okay, gratitude's got buffalo for grounding and gratitude. If there's a single essence in the wild earth animal essence that is the gratitude essence, it is the wild turkey. And praying mantis, which nurtures this connection with the divine through devotion, devoting ourselves and our lives and our gratitude to the divine. So now we're really moving into the new story. The past is still there. Yes, stuff still comes up. We're still cycling back through this at times. And it's not necessary to go through all 7 before. What you may find, especially at the beginning, is you're working in this area and maybe get to letting go. And then, all of a sudden, here comes another piece of work. And you find yourself back here going through this. Or sometimes you might come through and you might get to gratitude. And if you've been doing some really deep work, another piece may come up and you can return. So it's kind of like a spiral. It's not necessarily meant that you go through all 7 every single time. Or sometimes you may just find that a specific essence is called for. You're feeling some grief comes up about something that you hadn't felt in a long time, and you want to take grieving heart to support that, for example. Okay, so we've moved through letting go. We've embraced our gratitude and our devotion to the divine with our gratitude. And now we're really, really moving into this new life, and which is characterized as a place of wild freedom. Okay, so this is where we're like living now the life that we've always wanted. This is at some levels this seems like it would be the end of the last stage, the stage where we're now able to create and share joy and live truly freely, unencumbered by the past. And it's got wild horse for helping our hearts to stay fully open, dolphin for the joyful playfulness that we were talking about this morning, mallard for taking off with your life, and sparrow for letting go of any lingering worries that might still pop up from all this stuff from the past. And so again, one might think, okay, this is the end. I'm now in this new life. It's not even a life I could have imagined before when I was back here, and it's just totally great. And at one level that seems like the last stage, but then there's one more step, and it is communion with God. And this is the stage, the most sacred stage in a way, where your connection with the divine, it has moved to an entirely new level, and you're able to know yourself as one with the divine, as an expression of the divine, as everyone is. So it's not just you, it's all things are expressions of the divine, and you experience yourself and your life as a divine expression. And through that and in that, the only two things that really matter and that seem important to you are love and serving others so that they can know the peace and joy and presence that you feel at the heart of your life. And this has dove for, again, being centered in that still quiet point of your heart. Eagle for keeping that crown chakra wide open so the channel is clear and pure. Tiger for emptying the busy thinking mind and staying in the pure, raw awareness of the present moment. Great blue heron for nurturing serenity. And deer for awareness. And at this point, it's actually not the end, it's a whole new beginning, where life actually takes on a whole new inner and outer experience. So here we've moved from the beginning of suffering and separation and pain and moved through that to where we're able to let it go, feel gratitude for all that has occurred, moving into a life of freedom, wild freedom, and then to the next stage, the end and the beginning of communion with God. These work really well with the wild childs. So when doing inner work and grieving work, especially this stage here, the early stages with the wild childs go really well together. Also, they work really nicely in pairs. And generally the ones that are next to each other work really well. So inner work, and then if anger comes up, you can add the healthy anger and take them together. Or inner work and the grief comes up, take inner work and grieving heart. Grieving is the act, a primary action of letting go. So grieving and letting go really nicely together. Letting go and gratitude, gratitude and wild freedom in communion with God. In terms of people who are, one of the most useful applications of this is to actually give these to people who are dealing with grief and death and burying people, and the actual people who are in the midst of active grieving. You start with grieving heart and you give them that for a couple weeks, and then you give them letting go. So you support them in grieving and staying with what they're feeling and not pushing that down, letting that grief out. And you do that for a couple of weeks, and then you give them the support to begin to actually let go of what all that they've been carrying, and let go of, to really let their loved one move on. Okay, questions?
Somebody who hasn't lost a husband, but whose husband has changed, say, through dementia?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a huge loss.
It's not the man that she married.
Exactly. It's not at all. I mean, that you said it perfectly. He's not the man she married. So he's not. She's lost the man she married. So grieving heart would be the perfect thing to give someone in that situation. Because she has to grieve. And in doing that, she will be able to love the man she's with. In other words, she's lost him, but if she's able to grieve the fact that she's lost him, she will see him again with fresh eyes. Do you know what I mean?
She's also changed her relationship from being that of a wife to a carer now.
Yeah.
Her role's also changed as well.
Yeah. And Robin is really good for that. When we talked this morning about Robin being the service essence. Yeah.